Welcome back, everybody. It's the In This League Fantasy Baseball Podcast. I'm your host for the day, Scott Bogman. Follow me on the Twitter at Bogman Sports. No Welsh today, so I went and got the best pinch hitter I can imagine. My man at BD Hendrick on the Twitter machine, KC Bubba. Bubba, what is going on, my man?
Not much. How we doing, my friend? It's great to be here. I always like being the backup plan on ITL. It's like, it's my brothers from another mother. So
That's
it's great.
right.
It's great to be here to talk a little baseball on a Friday.
And I just got let's start here. And obviously, you can catch Bubba on Fantasy Pros Baseball HQ, Bench with Bubba and Bloom. He is one of the most influential people in the industry at this point. If you did not know that, I mean, roll your eyes all you want. You are. So it is true. But we haven't talked about the Devers deal. I think you and I sent a couple texts back and forth to each other, but you have to be, this is like when the D-backs got Corbin Burns in the offseason out of nowhere. It was like from the top rope, just jumped in here. So as a Giants fan, you got to be ecstatic right now.
I was pumped, absolutely off the charts pumped. I told the story on Bubba and the Bloom that I was at the beach with my daughter. We're just sitting there. Literally, I took a picture of it immediately. I had a high noon in my hand, and she's playing in the dirt. Like my phone just starts buzzing in the beach bag. I'm like, what the heck? Like Bloomfield's the first one to text me, and there's just like, you got me, and everybody else. So I had to check Twitter and see what's going on. I'm like, this is what? Like, how did this just happen? And this is what we gave up. Okay, sounds good. It was just wild on so many accounts. Love having all the discourse that, I'll play first base, all this stuff. That's electric. And then I was there on Saturday when he went deep for the first time. So that was
nice.
Absolutely awesome as well. So yes, it is great having Rafi in town.
Man, I bet that was a hot ticket, huh?
Oh yeah, we bought him a long, long time ago. Then I laughed when the trade happened. I'm like, ha! Red Sox are in town. This just got a whole lot better.
Probably could have got season tickets if you'd sold that one, but I'd rather go to it, be there, and see Rafi's first bomb. Man, that was a lot of fun. Well, today up on the show, we are going to be talking some news at the top, like normal, and then I've got some questions for Bubba. I'm going to put him through the ringer a little bit. So I just went through and said, I want Bubba's opinions on this, and this. Sent him to him last night. So let's just start with the news. Shota came back on Thursday at St. Louis. He had 5 innings, only gave up 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. We're just all wheels up on Shota, right? Like, how high does he go in your rest of season rankings coming off an injury here?
Yeah, no, assuming this is the Shota, like he's healthy, like we're good, like we saw in this return. He's a top. I was always really high on Shota, so I'm not going to say top 10. That's rough, but he's a top 20 pitcher for me. Like I think he's that good. His ratios will be good. His strikeouts are pretty darn solid. He's going to give you a lot of chances for wins because he goes 6, 7-ish innings a lot of his starts. So yeah, I'm pumped. Seeing him come back in not an easy matchup against St. Louis. In his return, pitched really, really well. Picked up where he left off essentially. I'm back on board. Let's rock and roll. And he's one of the studs out there. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Shota has been great. Glad he's back. What do you my buddy Jesse here in the chat with us, Tummy Lasorda, he said that someone gave him crap for wearing his jersey like Shota when he was a high school baseball player. It's a little sloppy, things like that. It's not exactly tight like Aaron Judge's. What do you think about that? I mean, I love a big dude with a sloppy uniform a little bit, right?
Yeah, you're talking the 2 big guys with sloppy everything right now. So I'm not sure what you expect me to say here, but like Bugs, you've known me for a while. I know we've only met in person a few times, but have I ever worn anything tight? Not because that's too small for my fat body, but because I want it to be tight. Like, let's just be real about the situation here. If I can go a little extra loose on things, we're going a little loose on things.
Who was the Jersey governor that wore? Was that Chris Christie that wore the baseball uniform to throw?
And he had the pants
pitch?
that showed he was smuggling grapes. Yes,
oh my god,
it was
that
bad.
moose knuckle going on.
It was
Yikes.
rough. Yeah. We know Canada likes their mooses, but that was a rough go. Rough go.
Oh man, Vlad and Jose Ramirez both left with arm injuries in the same game. Couple guys getting plunked here. I saw Jose is not going to play today. How worried are we about these?
It sucks. We're seeing it so often right now, Boggs. Like that's a Corbin Carroll the wrist. Like you just go down the list of these guys are getting thrown inside, and Like Kruko was talking about it the other day because the Giants had 2 guys. Casey Schmidt had a CT scan come back, and he said it's gotten out of hand. Like you want guys to pitch inside, but the fact the pitcher doesn't have to get in the box anymore, there it seems like he says it feels like it's more reckless. Who knows? But yes, to your point with J Ram and Vladdy, I'm concerned with all these guys. A.O. Henio still hasn't had his MRI scan because his hand's too swollen. Yet he's taking batting practice because your guys' doctors are geniuses. But with J Ram, the fact they ruled J Ram out like right out the gate, I'm like, yeah, this will be a little rough for me.
Yeah, that's I mean, look, they have the Barry Bonds elbow armor. Why not put that all over your hand, right? There's got to be some Kevlar.
Bagwell used to have that big thing, remember, on his hand?
Yeah, it was like a big chunk of padding.
Yes.
You know, it looked like part of a wrestling mat was just on his hand. I think they should be
I would.
Nick asked, why do you think people are getting plunked so much? I mean, I think it's just a lack of control, right?
It's a lack of control. Like they want to blame it on the sticky stuff. Like that's just silly to me. It's guys are throwing harder with no control. That's so things just get out of hand faster. To me, that's the easy explanation. Now, nothing's easy, of course, but that's my 2 cents.
Sean says he thinks they banned it after like the big hand thing after Ortiz retired. I didn't know that. I didn't.
Neither did I. It makes sense because it has kind of disappeared from the game. It seems like everybody looked like the Terminator going out there. But maybe with these next negotiations coming up and we have a strike in another year or so, that could be a part of it because player safety should be we're it sounds bad, but we're losing big names now. So this needs to get figured out.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like you said, you know, the name shouldn't matter, but you know, the names matter.
It does.
They always matter. So, yeah, man, I'm 100% with you. I just fix it. Find a way to fix it. We shouldn't be losing stars because of this getting hit on the hand. If that's something they banned, it's ridiculous. Figure it out. So,
agreed.
Yeah, hopefully these guys don't miss too much longer. You mentioned Haney already. Cora said the Bregman is unlikely to return before the All-Star break. That's brutal because Bregman is having such a good first season in Boston.
He's having a great season, and it seems weird because like a week ago, it felt like he was coming back like faster than expected, and then just kind of there must have been a setback we just didn't hear about because all of a sudden Cora said after the All-Star break. So let's hope he's healthy. You get about a 2.5 month run out of him, see where it goes because he was having a phenomenal year, to your point.
Are you, because the cost might be down, are you trying to buy him because it looks like he's going to be out for the next month?
Oh, if you can, I would, because third base is getting beat up. We're losing guys left and right out there, or even corner infield. If you want, it's getting pretty brutal. So I'd be into a guy like that because at least with him, there's a soft tissue, which is never great, but he at least has a timetable. He's been rehabbing. It's not a broken bone. It's not like a ligament. We should be getting him back soon.
Our boy CK hit me up like as soon as this injury happened because he had a nice bet for Bregman to lead the league in doubles, and he was leading.
Rolling. That was
when he got hurt. He was rolling. Yeah, that's a brutal one. That's like such an obscure bet to hit so hard the first month and a half, and then for Bregman to go down. It's just
your boy CK is smart because that makes sense. You put a big wall up there. He's just hitting Crawford boxes. He's just gonna pepper the wall. Yeah, and that was actually a sharp bet. All things considered.
Very sharp bet. Yeah, CK knows what he's doing, man. He's the leader over there at Six Pack. Mark Vientos is being activated today against the Pirates, so we do get one third baseman back, and Chandler Simpson was recalled. Was his defense that bad to where he needed to be sent down? I mean, it seems like the Rays are just absurd.
They're absurd, and if they would have said it was his defense and it was for reals, he would have been gone more than like 2 weeks. That's why they're just being ridiculous because now he's back and he's played every day. He's playing versus lefties and righties. So I don't know if he ticked off somebody and said, "Hey, you're going to the AA or AAA for a bit." I don't know what their thought process is.
The Rays also said that they would be willing to deal Pete Fairbanks, even though they are in playoff contention now. And I know this is a curse of the small market, right? Like a guy that is becoming a free agent, you kind of have to, even if you're in a good spot, you have to consider what teams are willing to give you because it might be better for your team long term, right?
Yeah,
they have be a big overpay. So, I mean, what is your fear for Fairbanks? Is it more fear, or is it like, hey, maybe he ends up in a better spot than Tampa Bay for saves?
You would hope it's a better spot for saves than Tampa Bay, but with his skill set, he feels like he's going to be an eighth inning guy with a chance to pick up a save here and there. Like Tampa's the perfect storm for him to then get locked in. But to your point, it's just the small market teams. That's how the Rays stay competitive, is they do these trades. They trade these guys, get 3 19-year-olds that they can use in 3 years. Like that's how they keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, Hurricane and Wander Franco being a deviant have set that franchise back by 5 or 6 years at this point, which is just brutal. I mean, honestly, since they were just sold, I hope, like, is there a plan to move them? Nashville?
Well, they said like that. I thought the team that bought the place that bought them, weren't they talking like Orlando or something?
Orlando's great. Orlando
Yeah,
has a bunch of people, and Disney will pay for a
exactly.
stadium.
They already have stadiums there. I know those are like minor league spring training facilities, but hey,
It's where they're
hey,
playing now.
yeah, I was about to say like, hey, let's think about. But Nashville, like I know that's the one everybody wants, and they should get a team. Like that's a great city for a ball club, but
I just don't think we need new teams. There are plenty of
no,
small market teams that have been, not to. Why are the Marlins need new owners? Because that
yes,
stadium is
yes.
gorgeous. There are tons of people in Miami. The Miami Hurricanes, the Miami Dolphins show you that people will show up. The Heat fans showed up. Like, just make the team good.
Well,
They
the
have the
big,
highest winning percentage in playoff history, by the way, the Marlins do. So
the big that's ridiculous, but they've won a few World Series. When they've gone all in, it's worked.
yeah.
Um,
The first 2
yeah,
times they went into the playoffs and made the World Series, and then the last 2 times they've got dumped in the first round. So
yeah, but to your point, like you can't add more teams until every other team actually wants to spend money and be competitive, because it'll just make things more watered down. So yeah, that's the problem.
we have a solution for. I mean, the Rockies should move to Nashville immediately, right? Like,
Ooh, that
uh,
yeah.
I mean, look, I think Denver is great, but you can't play. If you are going to play baseball in Denver, you have to have a specialized stadium. I feel like, what I
It
mean,
needs a
like,
dome. Needs a dome.
yeah,
Flat out.
you need a dome, you need
Yeah.
the humidifier, you need all the other tricky
It needs
nonsense.
to
Like,
be
make it
basically
clear. That's
Chase
fine.
Field North. Needs to be
Yeah,
Chase Field North. That's what it is.
with a clear roof. Make the roof clear. That's fine. We don't care. It'll look great because Denver's obviously gorgeous most of the time, but it's got to have a roof, man. You can't do it. But it snows a lot there too. I don't know. It's tough. So,
Trap the smells inside. Great.
Nashville. Nashville looks good.
Yes.
Jeff
Yes.
or Ken Rosenthal says that the Marlins are getting calls on Alcantara, Cabrera, and many others. What do you think the purge looks like from Miami? Do you think everybody's going to go? Do you think they're holding on to some pieces? This is just going to be a strip down. What other kind of bare bones teams do you think are going to just start selling left and right?
Well, Miami will be interesting because last year didn't they sell like a third of their roster to a half of the roster like in one day at the deadline? Like they all disappeared, and things moved. And
Like it's a sweep flea market.
it's wild, and it's worked a little bit. It got him a few pieces. We'll see where it goes. But Cabrera's going to be gone. He's pitching great while healthy. Alcantara is going to be gone. So you got that going. 1 or 2 relievers that will be gone. The hitting ones will be interesting because, like, do they give up on Jesus Sanchez already? Like, he's still pretty young. So it'll depend on what they can get for some of those guys. So they'll be as aggressive as they possibly can be. I think the White Sox will be willing to move and shake a bit as well. I'd love to say the Pirates, but every time we think that, they don't do anything. They just sit there and watch and just be mediocre forever. Same with the Rockies. They don't do anything.
I don't have anybody. They have Jake Bird and like
trade Ryan McMahon. He'd make somebody happy.
That's true.
Like,
just kidding.
But other than that, not much. To your point.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. So it's pretty much the Marlins. It feels like, and maybe I think there's only like 6 teams kind of out of it already. Everybody else still has a chance, and they're like, I saw the Reds are 2.5 games out today. 2.5 of the wild card. Like, there's so many teams. I think in reality,
they just brought up Burns. They just Hunter Green's coming back. Like, they gotta. I would say if you're the Reds, you push your chips in. You're not selling.
Like the Angels should sell, but they won't.
They should. I
It's
think the
Miami,
Mariners probably should, but they shouldn't because of their record.
I think it's back end. Yeah, there's a handful that should, even though they have good records. To your point, that's what makes it tough. Like sitting here in our chairs, geniuses we are.
Of course,
we could point in the right direction, but no one wants to listen to us.
Of course, we just solved the Rockies problem. We just solved the Rays problem. Simple. Orlando and Nashville, easy solutions. No,
the Braves might actually sell. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. What should the Diamondbacks do?
Sadly for you, they need to sell right now.
You think so? What can you get for Gallen?
I literally was just going to say, the problem is, what are you getting for Gallen?
Right.
Nothing. Like, that ship has sailed, folks. So it's like, do you try to trade Ryan Nelson. Like, what do you get for Nelson? Like, what do you get for half these pieces? Is maybe Lourdes Gurriel gets you back something?
They just signed him. Lourdes could get you back something. Naylor's a
Eugenio
free
is your
agent.
piece if his hand's okay.
Eugenio's hurt. Gallon sucks. Merrill Kelly, maybe someone should overpay for him because he's pitching so well right now. But yeah, it's just kind of, what do you do if you're the Diamondbacks? Because you're in the window, right? Like the window isn't going to be open forever. You're in the window, but you do have these expiring pieces. Like I would like to re-sign Eugenio. I would love to get Naylor back, but I think they have too many options at first base. I think Pavin can play. They have Ivan Melendez in the minors right now, who could come up at some point, maybe next year. So I don't know what they're going to do at first, but I would love to get Gino back. But then, okay, you re-sign Gino. You just extended Perdomo. What do you do with Lawler? You move him to the outfield if you trade Lourdes?
You send him somewhere he can get actual help for his soft tissue injuries.
Well, that too, he's hurt now, and he was in a miserable funk before he got hurt as well. But he's still like a top 10 prospect, according to most people.
Perfect storm. You could trade Eugenio. You could trade Naylor. Some team would still be willing to take a chance on Gallon. They would be. So if you could get rid of those three pieces, you could probably get something decent in return for the future. And and we've talked like on my preview show with you and Wells for the Diamondbacks. You have so much young talent still. Like you guys are. It's not like you have to, like you mentioned, you're going to be blocking pieces if you keep these guys for too long.
Well, Lawler is blocked right now. So, yeah. To Royce Lewis, he's going to begin a rehab assignment on Friday.
Stop me if you've heard this before.
So, yeah. Let me just ask you, what is his value at this point? Like, the guy can't stay on the field. When he does, he's been good. But when he came back this time, he was miserable. So he's been hurt. He's had a poor performance recently. We know the talent is in there. We've seen him peak before, and it's been pretty spectacular. But it just looks so brutal right now. What are we doing with Royce?
Yeah, it's been brutal, but I'm still kind of buying because you just have to expect him not to play that often because he's hurt is the problem. But we look at the 30-game sample. It was 2 homers, 202 average to your point, but a 222 BABIP was super low. He was only striking out, same as last season. His walk rate was the same as last season. We saw an increased barrel rate, an increased hard hit rate. So there's a lot of things that were pointing in very positive directions for Royce Lewis. Just depends, like, was he healthy? Was he finding stride? What was it? I'm still a believer in him. I just understand it comes with a lot of what ifs with Royce Lewis. So I'd buy low if you could, honestly, but I just know the problems that can come with it.
What is let's just go pitcher. What is the best pitcher you would give up 1-for-1 for Royce?
It's been a lot of bad
test here.
A lot of bad pitchers.
Don't you love coming up on this show? I can just put the screws to you, ask you all these questions.
Like I was almost going to say Bibee, but Bibee's been a little better than that, even though he's struggled of late.
I think that's about fair because I think Bibee specifically this year has been much better than Royce, but the hitters typically last longer.
Yeah,
but Royce is kind of a question.
Like if you could flip an Edward Cabrera on his hot streak for him, that'd be pretty sweet to me. Stuff like that. That's kind of where my brain's at.
I think that's about right because that's like if I was holding Royce, I think Cabrera's the line where I'd be like, nah. But if someone offered me Bibee, I might be like, well, maybe you just had a pitcher get hurt or something. You know what I mean? Like I think that one is one where I could easily see myself flipping.
We're halfway through the season, so team needs get changed perspective on so much of it.
Absolutely, yeah, especially if a pitcher goes down. Speaking of which, Griffin Canning looks like he tore his Achilles. Not great. Jordan Walker went on the IL with appendicitis. Xander Bogaerts was scratched Wednesday with a left shoulder soreness. Zach Neto jammed his shoulder, sliding in to second on Tuesday. He missed Wednesday, but the MRI showed no structural damage. Max Meyer's hip needs surgery and is going to end his season. Kyron Paris was option. Noah Syndergaard was signed. A couple, bottom feeder moves here and some injuries. Which injury concerned you the most?
Out of all of those, I'd probably, Griffin Canning's done for the season. So that's tremendously not great. Who
you picking up if you were rostering Canning? That's a churnable spot. Who are you
Oh,
picking up?
100% turnable. Like, who am I picking up? Because you're probably say 10, 12 team league. There's gonna be tons of like. Honestly, I've been loving what Charlie Morton's been doing lately. I know people are gonna laugh at me for that, but it's been super
Streaming
serviceable.
spot?
Yeah,
Yeah, who cares?
that's why he popped into my mind. You're saying it's a streaming spot.
Yeah.
Like, I would run with Morton as long as you can right about now. So he'd be in play for me. Look for two-step guys coming like Jacob Lopez of the A's has been outstanding.
I just picked him up in a couple spots. Yeah.
He's a stud. They're doing our Fab show on Bubba and the Bloom on Thursday. He's still only 53% rostered in 12-team leagues there. So he's
That
super
was
low
my
owned.
pickup, and I had Sale in 2 spots. So
There you
Jacob
go.
Lopez
Yeah.
was my ad.
So yeah, there's a lot of that kind of realm of pitchers like that you could go and look for this week that I think could be quite serviceable for you.
Let me ask you about Max Meyer in Dynasty, and this is totally not self-serving because I traded for him 2 days before he had hip surgery. But what is Max Meyer's value in Dynasty right now?
I think it's pretty darn low, to be honest. Like, I love the skill set. I don't know. I know technology is better with the hip injury or the way pitchers need to use their hips to pitch.
But you said he should be back by spring training.
Yeah, he should be fine. But to me, does it take like another year to get back to where he is? And do you want to wait for that? That's more my concern with it for Dynasty. Like, I believe he'll be back next year in pitching. Not doubting that at all. But a combination of not throwing, so now how many innings does he have next year? Not to mention re-strengthening everything on the lower body. I don't think we see like the normal Max Meyer for like another year type thing.
Yeah, hip surgery can be real tough. So I've heard that's the hardest surgery. I'm sure, being a fat guy, it's in my future. So, but it does not sound good. All right, well, let's take a break there, and then let's get to some questions with KC Bubba right after this. I'll drop a transition in when we aren't live. Guys, if you want to drop some questions in the chat now, everyone who's hanging out here, please feel free. I'm going to be doing some player debates and some questions for Bubba, and we can get to a couple of yours in here. I think, okay, yeah, we had a question to start, so I'll start with that, and then we'll go to my questions for you. All right, Bubba, we have one question here and maybe a couple others trickling in to start. This is from Joe G. He says, I need a second baseman. Who doesn't? I was offered Glaber for Giolito. I have Reese Olson returning to take his spot, 12-team mixed. What do you think? It seems like a pretty fair deal.
That's very fair. If you need second base, take Glaber. He's having a career year, so that could always change at a moment's notice. But Giolito's been good. But he's almost in that streaming bucket we just talked about. Like he's in that realm. Glaber is actually a legit starting second baseman in a 12-team league. So yes, make that trade.
Yeah, I like that one too, Joe. All right, Bubba. How valuable is Cal Raleigh? Do you want to trade him for the second half? Like he said he's going to participate in the home run derby, right? We don't like. No fantasy owner should like that. Like the home run derby is so much fun. I'm
going to love to watch it that Tuesday, Monday night, but
you don't want you guys on your team or your fantasy team because it tires these guys out real bad to start the second half because it is just an exhausting event from everything we've been told. And sometimes it messes with their swing a little bit. It has happened. So, but Cal Raleigh's been unbelievable this season. He's by far the most valuable catcher. I mean, it's not even close. He's on pace for like close to 60 homers. I mean, the expected slug is crazy high. The expected Wobacon walk percentage, this is all crazy high. The launch angle is huge. The barrel percentage is the highest it's ever been for him. All this looks sustainable, but the outrageous production seems unsustainable for anybody. So what is Cal Raleigh actually worth?
He's worth everything that you can think of. Just for what he does, separates the world at catcher. He's going to play every day because they're going to DH him. Garver, he's banged up, so you might get Harry Ford up there soon. Regardless, Raleigh's going to play probably 6 days a week, maybe all 7, depending on their schedule. And like you mentioned, what he's on pace for. If you rest of season projections, he's projected for 52 home runs and almost 15 stolen bases from a catcher. That is insane. And he's hitting for average. Maybe things drop off, but the Mariners need him so badly. And if they can get some decent production from their backup catcher, you might see Raleigh DH even more in the second half type thing because they need offense on that team. When they got rid of Rowdy, their DH situation's a mess. Like they need some pop from the left side. So I love Raleigh. Like, yeah, if you can go get a massive haul for him, go for it. He is a catcher. Anything can happen at any given moment with those guys. That's the scary part. But don't take a discount at all.
Dynasty. Is there a trade that even would make sense for you, or is it like, hey, look, he's just so much higher than the next catcher, especially in 2 catcher leagues? Like he's
Yeah.
so much higher than any other catchers. He's just almost a little untradeable.
Like, I love my catchers. One of my favorite phrases is catchers matter because people don't think they do. But in 2 catcher leagues, he is definitely elite. Just in a dynasty league with the rate catchers get hurt so much, if you can get a pretty cool offer to help you build like for the future, I would not be opposed to it.
Yeah, I mean, some catchers are freaks, but most aren't. Right? It's kind of like
Yeah,
running backs in
that's
football. Like there are
big
some
talk.
Derrick Henrys, there are some freaks, but most guys are not that guy.
Yep,
So you're not
100%.
that guy, pal.
Nope.
Um, let's get a heat check on Jonathan Aranda, because the last time
Yeah.
we had you on, you ruffled some feathers. I can't even remember who it was.
And we compared to Matt Olson, though, who hasn't done a whole hell of a lot either.
That's who it was. Okay, I couldn't remember who it was. So it was Matt Olson, who hasn't done anything. Now look,
Yeah,
Aranda,
hasn't done anything either.
well, he's still hitting for average though. 349 this month. He was 299 and 341. This is his best month as far as average goes, but only 1 homer this month. He had 4 in April, he had 3 in May, and only 1 in June. And time's almost up here in June. Still hasn't swiped a bag, but is hitting on the season. Where'd the average go? 329 here. I mean, the rest of the stuff looks pretty good. So we're no longer in love with Jonathan Aranda. We're in like with him again.
Yeah, it's great what he's doing. We're not going to discount any of this. His hard hit metrics are insane. Even the X stats don't think like they think he's a 313 hitter, which is still pretty darn good. But what I'm looking at, and we did a bloom board on this on Tuesday, looking at rest of the season projections, and he popped on this because 329, like you mentioned, 8 home runs. Rest of the season, though, Bad X has him at 10 homers, hitting 257. So somehow he's getting a power spike with an average drop. Don't know how that's going to work out so well. And the reason why I'm hesitant on Miranda, even if he gets 8 more home runs, 16 homers is cool, fine. In this era of baseball, not great. The average is not going to stay at 329. I think that's just the simpleness of it. I think he's very good. You also got to remember Tampa's going to spend a lot of the second half on the road. A lot of the second half on the road. So that great ballpark we love in Tampa, not going to be around as much as you think. So that's going to impact things as well. So yeah, I think Aranda's awesome. I think he's a really good player. I thought when we last talked about him, we might see it feels like he's only had like 1 or 2 homers since we last talked. It's just been a good batting average, and that's where things kind of take a step back.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's not empty batting average, but if the power doesn't come back, he is empty batting average, right?
Yes.
Like the RBI and runs are great, 41 apiece. That's very good. In fact, career highs by a lot for him. So but the BABIP at 425 is just not sustainable. His career is 347, but last year was 264, 327 the year before that, 245. Like, obviously with so many at bats this season is doing the heavy lifting here, but 435 is just not sustainable in terms of BABIP. So yeah, I'm with you. Like, he is going to take a tick down for sure. And I think the average lowering and the power ticking up actually makes sense because his career ISO is 159. He's just slightly behind that at 157, but last year he was 195. So he should have a little more power. It's just not there. It's all batting average since it looks like he's maybe flattened out that swing. So interesting. Oh, let me ask you this: Aranda or Matt Olson rest of the season?
Screw you. I'd probably go Olson. I'll probably flip flop here like a politician.
That's okay. I mean,
I'm not a critic.
It's not flip flopping when you get new information. Maybe it was a hot take a little bit earlier because Matt Olson is up to 15 homers. He has more runs and more RBI, but he's still not stealing any bases. And his batting average is only 257.
Yeah, that's the thing but I think he could I think they could almost switch halves if that makes sense. Like all of a sudden, Olson hits like 290 and hits. He could hit 15 home runs. No one would be shocked. I don't think he does because I think there's something wrong with him right now. Personally,
you think like a secret injury here?
That's my guess because he just does not look comfortable at all at the plate. It's bad.
Yeah, it's I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think Olsen is 100% either. I think I would still take him, but it would be very slim. How
Like
about this
nothing would
one?
wait real quick. Nothing would surprise me if the Braves start to sell, and all of a sudden an IL stint comes into play from that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe for an extended period of time too.
Yeah.
So interesting take there. Is Marcus Simeon back? Because I think a couple weeks ago, Welsh had been asking me all season, can we get rid of Marcus Simeon? What's going on with him? And I just said, no, he's done this too many times. We know he is unbelievably cold, unbelievably hot. Like that's just the way he runs. And then I think most of the way through May, I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. It's, he hit 182, then 207. But now in June, of course, because I said that, he's hitting 317 in June. He has 3 homers when he only had 4 before that. More RBI and run this month. So, I mean, just everything is looking better for Marcus Simeon. Are we back in on Marcus Simeon now?
Yes and like no. I would say yes, like ride it out. Maybe he keeps this going. He's having a heck of a month of June. You mentioned the increase in the power and the batting average. Heck, he's dropped his strikeout rate to less than 11% right now, and he's close to 20% the first 2 months of the season. So he's making much better contact. He's hitting the ball on the ground more. So maybe that's aiding into just hitting the ball better in general. It's more what you want from Simeon. The age still plays a factor in it for me. The Rangers offense as a whole is not great. So what does it really what does he gain from being on base a ton besides a good batting average at times with Simmons? He's not running. He still only has 2 steals in June, so it's not like he's running wild out there.
Right.
But is he improved? Yes, massively improved from where he was. Because I'm with you. I was like, just drop him in a 12 team or less. Like, there's nothing to see here. I think he'll be very serviceable. You just had the question about Gleyber Torres because second base is so bad in fantasy. So Simeon's at least come back into the fold where you're starting him every game. I just don't know if we see it for 3 more months.
Okay, so you would, if you got a decent
I would
offer,
trade him.
he's just done, and that this is more because of age for you.
It's age, like because eventually Father Time's coming. Like we always applauded all the 700 plus plate appearances he plays every day, and that'll catch up with you sooner than later. And it seems like it's slowly getting there.
Simeon versus Michael Garcia. Then for the rest of the season, I think it's pretty easy. Michael for you.
Big time. I'm a huge Michael fan. Like seeing what he's doing, it's legit, and he's younger. And I don't think we've seen the best of Michael Garcia yet.
Man, yeah. I mean, he's obviously having a fantastic season, hitting 309, 8 homers, 17 swipes,
Yeah, he's
35
just
runs, 38
yeah.
RBI. Guy's been incredible.
Yeah, he's been great. Like we could see maybe the power takes a step back. He sees 6 homers, but you could still see 15 to 20 steals. Like he's got that in his bag.
He's ripped this strikeout rate.
Yep.
Those first 2 seasons, I mean, I guess is 2022 and he only played 9 games, but 2023 he struck out a 22.3% percentage, and then it dropped to 16.5 last season to 13.9 this season. So Michael, and he's obviously putting the ball in play more, just having a great season so far. All right, here's one for you. What does Devers lose going to San Francisco? Because I remember Sarah Langs tweeted immediately that the last 30 home run hitter for the Giants was Barry Bonds.
I believe. Yeah, sounds about right. Because
Ooh,
we've had a lot of like
God.
25s, a lot of 25s.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
almost, what Denver does to pitchers, San Francisco kind of does to hitters here. That's absurd.
To be fair, the Giants' offenses as a whole have not been built with mashers either.
Yeah, that's true. But Matt
We should have
Chapman's
had a
been
few
good.
sneak into the
Yeah.
30s. Yes.
Yeah, just a random one. A guy with
Yeah.
a freak 20 homers on the road should have happened for you. So it's like, it's surprising and not surprising at the same time. You'd think at least someone would have done it. But is Devers going to get to 30 in a full season in San Francisco?
Yes. The biggest thing he needs to do, and this is like, I want to say he'll do it by next year. Like, I think we're going to see stretches of 30 home runs in a row. He should get there this year because he's already around 20, I think, as it is. Like he's had, I think, could be wrong, but his biggest issue, and I talked to Red Sox fans on the train to the game on Saturday, is and because he showed it his first few games, and the Friday night he hit one of the warning track. He has that green monster approach. He's hitting it oppo. His first home run was opposite field, out.
Ooh,
Day
okay.
game. The night before, the moisture in the air shut it down. On Wednesday day game, he had a moonshot to center field for a home run. Like when he learns to pull the ball and use the cove is when he's going to hit 35 plus home runs. Like
And then
he's
he
going to
can
enjoy it.
scream at Madison Bumgarner to go pull it
Yes.
out of the
Yeah.
ocean.
So like Devers will be fine. I think he's just going to have to take a different approach at the plate, but because you can see it's a lot of left center to left field line approach still.
You know what I didn't know? I think I sent you this reel, I think last year, a couple years ago, that no right-handed hitter has ever hit one in McCovey.
Yep, still has not happened yet. We've come pretty close lately, but still has not happened. No.
Interesting. It will be exciting to see a righty get one in there. Now, let me ask you this, because Junior Caminero has been popping off here. 6 homers, 7 homers, 7 homers. So guy already has 20 homers. If I'm going Devers versus Caminero on this nice streak that he's had, it's still Devers in San Francisco over Caminero?
No, it's all the Caminero. I had Caminero over Devers in preseason. I was humongous on Caminero this year. I was saying he's a future first-round pick. He's your top third baseman off the boards next season. I love this kid. And I was very much getting ready to eat crow after that slow start he had. Boys showing up. And people might say it's the ballpark, but I'm sorry. Like, his skills are legit. That's who he is. And he's much younger than Devers. Devers is playing with a groin injury, for crying out loud. Which you see sometimes when he runs, but then other times he beats out ground balls. So I digress. But I love Caminero. I think there's so much more to him. We haven't even seen it. Like, I think he get for a good batting average. I think he can run more. Like, I think there's a ton to like with Junior Caminero. So I would take him over Rafael.
But he's not your number 1 third baseman next year.
Going into the next year, maybe.
Jose still.
Okay, behind Jose.
After Jose. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Jose's always number 1. I admit, like, he could be a first-round third baseman.
Yeah. Put him over Machado. You put him over Devers.
Riley, Devers.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Mean, Riley's been.
Because I remember bringing it up, like, for people that love projections, and like I like to use them, like to help with, when especially preseason, kind of seeing different things. And we were looking like ADP, and you had like the Riley, Devers, Machado kind of bucket, and then Caminero's going like 2 to 3 rounds later, and their projections were identical. And I'm sitting there going, why is no one else really kind of playing this game? But
yeah. No, Caminero is a great buy. I have him in a couple spots.
Yes.
And I don't have nearly as many teams this year. So I'm definitely a Caminero guy with you. I just didn't expect you to put him over your boy Devers since you just got him. So look, Casey Bubba can put his fandom to the side when it comes to giving you the advice that you need here. What is Jacob Wilson actually worth? This is interesting because he's not Luis Arraez, but he definitely has that type of skill set, right? Like he is mainly a guy that's going to hit for average. He has 5 swipes, which isn't nothing. He has 9 homers, which isn't nothing. So he's better than Arraez in that fact. 41 runs is great. 40 RBIs is solid. Obviously, the ballpark is helping out this entire A's lineup, which is nice for fantasy. So, again, what is Jacob Wilson actually worth here? Should he be, I think right now, is he a top? Okay, so I think he's 6 among shortstops. And according to Yahoo, it's Ellie, Pena, Turner, Lindor, Witt, and then Jacob Wilson. He's 46 overall, hitting 345. What is he? Should he be this high, or would you take guys like Abrams ahead of him? O'Neal Cruz, who's not hitting for any average. Will you take those guys over him?
I'd probably still take Abrams. Cruz is an anomaly right now because he just hates playing for the Pirates, so it's ruining all of his stat lines at the moment. He does not want to be there at all. It is evident.
Hard to blame him.
Oh no, I'm actually on his side on this. I don't support most players just tanking it like he is, but he literally is making a point like, I do not want to be here. So kind of can't blame him. I love Jacob Wilson. It's hard for me to put him this high because first off, I thought he had no power. The 9 home runs is impressive. He should probably get 5 to 10 more because that ballpark alone is going to be freaking hot this summer. So that ball is going to fly. The batting average is good because I did the same, like you said, is in the preseason. I'm like, he's Luis Arraez at shortstop because that's what his skill set showcased. So there's always a chance things get taken back a bit. Like Abrams is a 2020 talent that might be more there still. So that's why I would take him, take a little dip in the batting average, see where it goes. Cruz, until he figures out if he wants to play baseball, it's tough to trust. But he's, to your original question, Wilson's probably still a top 10 fantasy shortstop, and you can't argue that. Now, I'd probably have him Just top of my head with the guys you named off, 8th maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's some guy like Zach Neto.
Yeah, a healthy Neto I'd have ahead of him.
What about Nico Bobichette?
Nico and him are almost the same player because Nico has no power either, but he runs a ton more. So
He only has one
I'd
homer
honestly
though.
take. Yeah, you got it. Yes, the other day it was like 120 in St. Louis, and it hit the top of the wall. It was so funny to watch. I think I take Nico because a healthy Nico steals 40 bags and
Okay,
hits 330.
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, Donovan is hitting 301, but he's kind of the same. He's got 3 swipes and 5 homers, so like the
I
counting
take
stats are
Wilson.
just not there. So
I take Wilson there.
Yeah. Baez?
Yeah, let's just pretend that never happened. I'll take Wilson.
That's so funny. And just pretend it never happened. I tell you what is hilarious. Byron Buxton's recent surge has been hilarious. It's so funny to me because I have consistently given the Welsh a hard time because he loves Byron Buxton. And, my annoying ass phrase is, no, I like guys that play baseball. Yep. So I have never been, coming up, of course, I was huge on Buxton because, everybody remember when Harold Reynolds said Mike Trout with more speed or whatever.
Yes.
For Byron Buxton. Like, he's not that, but he is a great baseball player. And this season is awesome. 17 homers, 13 swipes, hitting 279. He's played 64 games, which is not far off of his season total from 2022 on.
Most seasons, just say most seasons.
102 last year was the most he played since 2017. It was literally 28, 87, 39, 61, 92, 85, 104, and he's played 64 already this year. So we know the skill is there, the bat is there, the speed is back, which probably says something about his health. But this dude is General Soreness, right? Like, that is his nickname. He is always banged up. And the surging season is outstanding. But if I'm rostering him, I have to consider moving him right now. Like, you can feel the injury coming. Can you not?
Yes, you sell him for whatever high amount you can get from somebody that's desperate in their league. Because yes, it's great. Yes, we hope Buxton plays 130 plus games for the first time in his career. Like you mentioned, that stood out to me is the fact he's running. So that's a lot. We have not seen this kind of power and speed and 279 batting average. Like, this total skill set. He is a 5-category monster right now. We have not seen that in a long time.
He's 22nd according to Yahoo in their algorithm.
Top
overall, 25 player.
That's overall. I think somewhere I was looking at, I think it was Fangraphs Player Rater the other day. He's a top 10 outfielder right now.
That's absurd. Look, the skill has always been there.
It's there. It's fair.
Like, I cannot put him in the category and ask you to pick between him and other guys around him because you're obviously taking the other guys. Like, if I ask you him versus Corbin Carroll, who he's ahead of, you would say Carroll. If I ask you him versus even, I think, Andy Pages, you would have to say Andy Pages.
I love
right?
Pages, yeah.
He's been great.
Fan. He's young. He's, knock on wood, been healthy. He's playing on a better team. Yeah, I'll take Pages.
So let's dip down a little bit to ask you Buxton versus, let's say, Friedel. TJ Friedel right now is hitting
Buxton.
287, 8 homers, 9 swipes, 47 runs, 30 RBI. You're taking Buxton over him?
Yeah, just because Friedel's had so many stints on the IL already, too. They're freakish injuries, hit by pitches and stuff, but he's not the pillar of health either.
Right. That's kind of why I felt the comparison was fair between those two guys. And another guy that's missed some time in the past. What about Stephen Kwan? He played 122 games last year. He's up to 76, but 306. He has 11 swipes, 6 homers. Not as high on the runs or RBI, 37 and 24, but maybe a little safer floor than Buxton, but he has been a little banged up in his career as well. Where would you go between Buxton and Kwan?
Much safer floor, which again, that's more of a basement than a floor when it comes to Buxton. But I'd probably take Buxton. I'd take the upside there because Kwan's skill set when he's healthy and doing his thing is close to, like, it's not elite, but better than good. But right now he's replaceable. What he's doing.
So I gotta spruce this up a little bit then, huh?
Yeah, move up the
to
ladder.
push you on him. Kyle Stowers hitting
I
275,
almost
12
said his
homers.
name. That's tilting. Stowers, man, he had a great series in San Francisco, didn't he? God dang it. And he was slumping too. It's just, that's a good one. I think I go Buxton still.
Oh
That's a
man.
really good one. Like the conversation world where I would be is like Colton Cowser, Elliot
Okay.
Ramos. Like, where do you live in that realm
I mean, I'm
of?
taking those guys over, but I'm
Yeah,
not a Buxton guy at all.
no, but see, I'll be
So
taking those guys, but I think that's kind of where it's getting a lot tighter to me.
okay. Man, Jerem Duran is way below him, but I would rather have Duran. You'd rather have Duran, right? Of course.
Yeah, I take Duran.
Lawrence Butler.
I'll take the Law Dog. Yeah.
Soderstrom.
That's tough. Soderstrom, the power's fun and all, but things have been sketchy. I think I'd still take Soderstrom, but that's real tough.
I think I'd take Buxton, but I'm a known Soderstrom hater. So
that's real tough.
I mean, the rest of these guys, like I can't imagine you saying yes to Buxton over them. Julio.
You take Julio all day.
Yeah, Teoscar. Haley is the one that you said. Would you take Buxton or Haley?
I'd take Mr. Ramos, yes.
Yeah, me too. I think so too.
But I think he deserves to be in that realm of conversation.
Put him at the bottom of the tier, but he's in that tier.
Yes,
I understand. Yeah. I get that. Interesting. All right.
It's crazy though, like when you look at Buxton, because I think we'd all love to see just one full season out of him when he's doing all of this, like the 5 categories. It's like how Jazz last year finally stayed healthy and was just this monster. Now, obviously, when draft season comes around next year, everyone don't buy it. But he's only 31, Bog. That's what I was looking at. I'm like, he's still so freaking young for a ball player.
No. Buy it. Yeah, everyone should buy it, so I don't have to take it.
If you're in my leagues, please.
Yes,
pay extra
please.
for it.
Specifically buy it if you're in my leagues, 100%. Okay, how about moving down here? How about Joe Adell recently? Ooh. Joe Adell has been on a nice little power surge specifically, and I mean, he's rostered, I think, at a pretty absurd clip at this point on Yahoo. Actually, I can go find it. I think it's over 50%, right? Isn't
he's moved up. He's moved up finally, but it's taking a while.
30, still only 38%. But
people.
this surge has been completely outstanding. Let me just pull it up here. In the month of June,
yes,
he is hitting 266. He has 10 home runs, 16 runs, 17 RBI, 2 stolen bases. He only has 3 on the season, but 2 are this month. So everything is clicking for Joe Adell right now. The season numbers are still, he's still hitting 230. Before this month, he only had 7 homers, but now he has 17. The runs aren't very high. He's, lower in the Angels lineup, but he has 41 RBI. So, we're right here at midseason. What are your thoughts on Joe Adell?
I love it. I had so many shares of Joe Adell to start the season. And yes, he can be streaky. And yes, there's a lot of swing and miss when it comes to Joe Adell, but there's also a ton of power with Joe Adell. And we saw some improvements in May. Like if you just want WRC pluses, it went from 49 in March and April to 134 in May to the 180 we have now in June with these 10 home runs. Like we saw some gradual improvements with Adell, which is great. He's just a very, very talented, another guy, super young. He's 26, former like elite prospect, finally maybe getting comfortable at the plate with some consistent playing time. So yeah, I'm all aboard, Boggs. This is a guy that I'm a gigantic fan of. I think people should be buying into this. Now, will he go on a slump? Probably. It's Joe Adell. Let's just be real. But by the end of the season, this dude's going to have over 30 home runs. He's going to hit probably 250 to 260. And if he hits those 30 home runs, the dude's going to have 80-plus RBIs in a bad offense. So I'm all about the Joe Adell life.
Okay, so maybe this is a better question. When he does hit that bump, right, if you're rostering him, he does hit that bump on the road, how long are you giving him some type of leeway for this surging performance before you tell him to kick rocks and make his spot a streaming spot?
I would have him I just put him to the bench. I'd have a tough time dropping him, just knowing the skill set, knowing we've already seen a slump this year and seen what he can do. Like if it had to be pretty prolonged for me to give up. Like I could see not starting him, but to drop him would take a a multiple week situation for me.
Slayer asked a good question here.
Saw that.
Joe Adell or Jerks and Profar rest of the season, because Profar should be back, I'm guessing pretty soon, right? Maybe
He's
10
eligible
more
on
games?
July 2nd.
July 2nd. Okay.
So, and he should be back. He'll have all his quote unquote rehab. I love how they call them rehab games, which is official. He was on a substance, so maybe it is rehab. But yeah, and Profar's supposed to hit second for an underperforming offense, so he's got that going for him. I think I still take Joe Adell on this one. I think he's got the higher power ceiling for sure. We'll have to see what Profar can do after all this missed time and no stinger up his booty.
What if we put Joe Adell against one of your favorites, Jung-Hoo Lee? Who are you doing in that case? It's still Joe Adell?
Yes. Jung-Hoo Lee's been really bad right now, like really bad. He's moved down to like 7th in the lineup at times. It's been a slump for Jung-Hoo Lee. He looks frustrated right now.
Yeah, I saw him. I actually heard your announcers. I was watching a game the other day. Say, yeah, you usually don't see Jung-Hoo look that frustrated because he threw his bat.
Yeah, he's grinding right now.
171 he's hitting in June. He has no homers. He has 1 stolen base. He hit 231 in May, and this is all after hitting 319. Like, he started on fire. So, but it looks like he is begging for the.
He'll finish. He'll finish well. Like I call him a buy low, like if you want to. But he's a Steven Kwan type. He's not going to light the world on fire. But batting average wise, he should be tremendous. It's just he is not looking good out there right now.
Yeah, it's been rough in the streets. Is he? I mean, 280 versus left. He's hit better against lefties and righties recently. Home and away splits aren't huge either. It's just recent. It's been bad. So yeah. I'm with you. Like I don't fear that he is going to be this miserable for the rest of the season, but right now he's not on a lot of starting lineups, right? He's right up the pine.
You're benching him. You're not good. He's a tough cut. In shallower leagues, you can cut him, but you're definitely benching him right now.
What about a Rosarena or Adell?
That's good. I'd probably go Randy because he runs more.
Yeah,
very similar skill sets.
right, exactly. Except for Randy, we've seen him peak a little bit higher and for longer.
He's a consistent 2020 guy, like year after year after year. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on a Rosarena, but yeah, that one made my stomach a little queasy when I put it on the sheet yesterday.
It's pretty close.
Look, Jacob Mizorowski is the hotness right now, right? Like he's just started out so well here. Where do you put him among starters for the rest of the season? This is kind of when a new guy comes up like this in Surges, it's kind of hard to know where to put him amongst all the other pitchers, but pitchers come and go. They're finicky. He can be pretty high to start, right? How high do you have him?
Yeah, he's around 25-ish, I'd say, just because of his age, how many innings he's going to go. But strikeouts are elite. What I'm wanting to see is how long has this sustained, because in the minor leagues, he had control issues, like massive control issues. We have not seen any of that. His first start, I think he had 4 walks, but he's given up 1 hit in 3 games. It's ridiculous what he's done so far, and I think he's going to be awesome. I want him to be awesome. I'm not trying to say he's going to be bad. I'm just kind of like tampering my expectations a bit. So I'd have him 25 to 30 for 2 reasons: is A, innings, B, the pitching landscape's horrible right now, so he gets moved up pretty high out the gate because right now, quote unquote, he's healthy. So yeah, I'd have him around 25. I'd say
Mizorowski or Christopher Sanchez.
I take Christopher Sanchez. We've seen it before, and I trust the skill set.
I'm with you on that one. Mizorowski or Pepio.
That's closer because they both only go 5 innings. That's really good. I'm gonna go Miz, but that's really, really close.
Seth Lugo. Gotta go Miz.
I'll go Miz on that
strikeouts. Mackenzie Gore. Been on.
McKenzie's my guy. Like, I'm not going away from, like, I have so many Mackenzie Gore shares. I've been pumping this train for a couple years, and it's finally full steam ahead.
ERA is still 3.09. You know,
that's fine.
A couple rocky starts here recently.
Yes.
Only 3 wins. You know, it's Washington.
Those strikeouts are insane, though. Like, his K to walk, he finally has control right now. It's freaking glorious.
Yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch. I want to know about some pitchers that were
real quick before we leave off the Miz. I have one for you. I asked it on my bench with Bubba this week. I asked it on Bubba in the Bloom last night. Rest of season, Chase Burns versus Miz.
Ooh, man. I think I want Chase Burns.
Yeah, it's close.
The ballpark is tough, right? Like pitching at Great American to start your career is kind of shaky, but I don't know. I think you don't lose no matter who you take.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
but I don't know. I just think the Reds really need Burns right now, especially with Green banged up, and I don't know though, because a guy I want to ask you about, Andrew Abbott, has been crazy
Dude,
hot. So let me
God, I
ask you,
hate him.
I see three pitchers I want to sell hard, right? And Andrew Abbott is the number one, and I'm rostering all three of these guys, which is why I'm putting the screws to you here on this question. Am I trading Andrew Abbott, and what the hell can I get back for him?
You trade him for whatever you can right about now because, like, yes, it's been amazing. I can be so wrong. I've been wrong on him forever. I was waiting for he pitched to so much contact last year and still got away with it in Great American Small Park. This year, he's actually got the strikeouts going a little better, which is a plus. But I'm still waiting for the blow up. To be totally honest, like it's coming. Like you look at the underlying metrics, like yeah, they're good, but he's definitely not this good. If that makes
Yeah,
sense
I'm
to people.
rostering him, and I keep running him out there, and it keeps working. But Welsh keeps asking me, like, would you start Abbott against it? And I keep telling him no when he tells me, a tough opponent or whatever. I'm like, nah, I don't think I'd start Abbott. And then he goes, and I do because he's been on such a hot streak, but I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, and ain't dropping. He's just been good.
Yeah, you're not going to get one of these rookies, that's for sure. Um, if you could get, I'll ask you. Well, like, is Sandy good enough now to trade? Because I think you know what you're going to get from Sandy the rest of the way. And he keeps getting
I
better.
think if I could get Sandy for Andrew Abbott, I would do it immediately.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if I could you start there maybe and work around that pocket. Would you try to go and get a Chris Bubich who struggled his last like 3 starts and try to get that owner to?
I don't think I would do Bubich, but
Uh, I think that's kind of the discussions that like that's kind of the pockets where you have to start going around like and seeing what they have because again, pitching's been so freaking bad. There's not a lot of options out there to probably snipe people on. Like no
right.
one wants to give anybody up.
Yeah, there's no secret formula out
Yeah,
there at all.
it's like easier if you go to get hitters for pitchers right about now.
For sure. Yeah, pitchers are rough. Matthew Boyd has an ERA of 2.65. His Sierra is 3.83, so we know sure there's a little bit, but that's not over 4. The xFIP is 3.99, which is under 4.
Yeah.
82 strikeouts. The strikeout rate is 22.3%. The walk rate is 5.7%, a career low right now. Same deal for Matthew Boyd. Are we dumping Boyd? Are we trying to trade him, or are you just riding this out because you either got him so late or you picked him up off the wire? So this is a free lottery ticket. Just spend this money you won.
If you could trade him, I would, but I'm probably just writing this one out because the biggest thing is how many innings they're going to let him go. He's already at 91. We saw 39 last year, 71 the year before. Like he hasn't thrown over 100 innings since 2019. So it just depends on. And Cubs have nothing to lose to let him go. He's 34. They'll probably let him go to 150 for if they can. So I think you just ride this one out as long as you can, and I don't think you'll get a massive return for him.
What about the last one? And I'm rostering this guy everywhere. Everybody, I did just trade him in a league. That was part of my Max Meyer deal. But Merrill Kelly, right? Merrill Kelly's 36 years old. And the reason he's surging like this is because I went on with our guy CK to Fantasy Six Pack. And they asked me about Merrill Kelly after 3 quality starts in a row. And I said, I love Merrill. Went to the same high school as me. He's my guy from Scottsdale, all that stuff. Right. But he's a streamer. And he has been an all-star ever since I said that. He has been incredible. Right now in 16 starts, 7 wins, 93 innings pitched, 93 strikeouts. So his K per 9 is exactly 9. Walk rate is low 6.7%. ERA is 3.39. The Sierra is 3.47. All the underlying stuff is saying that he's just good right now. So are we trading Merrill Kelly, or is this the ultimate like, hey, this is found money. Don't give it to somebody else. Just write it out.
Yeah, if you can sell them high and get a great return, sure. But again, it's a broken record with pitching the way it is. You might just ride this one out. The one thing that kind of concerns me because I was looking at him last night for something is he had that great start to the year, like you mentioned, all those quality starts in a row. Over his last 6 starts since May 24th, he's given up 4 earned runs in 3 of those 6 starts. So he has a 3.6 ERA, but which made me laugh when you dig in. You think, oh no, still a 3.05 SIERA over that stretch. Dude has 41 Ks for a 22% K to walk, which is great because that was the biggest takeaway I had looking at Merrill Kelly. He's striking everybody out. He's getting 6+ Ks in like every at least a K per inning right now. Which is
his
nuts.
career K per 9 is 8.76.
Yeah.
So last year, or this is Boyd. I'm sorry. His career K per 9 is 8.21 and it's at 9. But last year is at 7.7. Right. Yeah. So it just seems like it's kind of out of nowhere. But the whip is low as well. It's 105, which would be his lowest since 2020 when it was 0.99 and only 5 starts. So, yeah, man, Merrill Kelly's just riding this hot streak. We did get a couple questions in here. So, yeah, Jag, that Merrill Kelly's so hydrated, though. That was his thing, was he kept cramping. So they were giving him like IVs and stuff before the game to try to get him to not cramp. And he left the game early in the season cramping. And he goes, I'm the most hydrated human being on the planet. It is not from hydration. I can tell you that much, this cramping. But we did get a couple questions. This one from Slayer. Which first baseman would you keep rest of the season, Aranda or Kurtz? I have Vladdy as the main first base and those guys as secondary. So if you had to choose, would it be Aranda or Nicholas Kurtz?
I'll take Kurtz. I love what we're seeing from Kurtz. He's healthy. He's getting comfortable. I don't think he hits 300 the rest of the way, but we could get a 275 with insane power. So yeah, give me Nick Kurtz all day long.
Just a quick affair with Aranda. Dump him to the side like a full side piece.
Tender, swipe left, and move on.
That's right. Van Rod says, are we starting Abel today in Atlanta? I am. Atlanta hasn't been good.
I was about to say Atlanta's offense is so bad. I think you can. I really do. Like, they have all the talent that any day they can show up and shock you, but it seems like 5 out of 7 games are going to suck. So yeah, roll the dice.
Yeah, I'm 100% with Bubba here. I would start him as well. So I think that's everything. That is everything for me. Bubba, tell everybody where they can find all of your great work. Give the schedule out. Promote anything and everything that you would like to promote here. And thank you so much for coming on again on short notice. Again, as always, Bubba's the man. He always
anytime, man. Anytime I can fit it in, I'm always down to chat with you, my friend. Yeah, on Twitter at BDentric. The big thing is Bubba in the Bloom. We started a Patreon with Ryan Bloomfield this past year. It's going strong. He's got a lot of great Google Sheets and stuff he's put out. I do some written content. We record 2 shows a week. We do some bonus shows. Like, we're trying to follow the footsteps of the goats over here when it comes to Patreon. So that's how that's going. So come check out Bubba and the Bloom on all your listening platforms. Bench with Bubba's coming at you, and then I write for HQ, Fantasy Pros, and others. So yeah, if you can't find me, you're not really looking.
Exactly. That Bubba is the man. Like I said, one of the most influential fantasy baseball personalities in the realm today. So please check him out if you are not, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know who Bubba is. But that is it for us. We will see you guys next week. Welsh will be back after his Dance Dance Revolution tournament. So we will see you guys then. Take it easy, everybody.